Conversations with Nicole. Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about. Let's talk about. Yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Monday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to talk about whatever it is we want to talk about. And today we are talking about newness of life. Newness of life. Now, for those of you who are Bible scholars out there, there are scriptures that refer to the newness of life. So, my very special guest will talk about that topic, which is actually the name of his ministry. And we'll dive a little deeper in just a moment. But before we do, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? If you will, in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, let us know. Put your city and your state in the comments because we would love to hear from you. This is an interactive live and an opportunity for us to communicate with one another and a safe space for us to do so. So I invite you to get involved in this conversation and tag a friend. Let them know that they need to be here as well. So I see a few people who are chiming in right now. My cousin Denise in Texas, thank you for being here. My mom in Miami, thank you for being here, Ma. And Miss Pumpkin here in Tallahassee, Florida. Thank you for being here. We got Felicia Spears in Jacksonville, Duval. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. So my very special guest is Mr. Evangelist Lynva Masslieno. I know him as Lynn. I think some people call him Big Holy, and we'll get into all of that in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and read his bio while the rest of you are logging in. So listen, this bio is extensive, so I'm going to give y'all a cliff notes, but he was born and raised in Panama City, Florida, Bay County in the house. He attended Bay County High School, where he was a 4-year letterman, a starter on the school's football team, class of 90. He was a retiree of Gulf Power Company. He currently is serving at Northwest Florida Health Network, and he is a committed servant and son of God. He has the honor and privilege of serving as the lead pastor of Kingdom Agenda International Ministries, the Kingdom Impact Center in Panama City, Florida. He is the founder of Big Holy Ministries, Inc. and Newness of Life. There are many outreach events that come out of the ministry. One of them is the God of this city, citywide tent revivals, which hopefully he'll tell us more about that. And he's conducted numerous street revivals in different cities, such as Panama City, Port St. Joe, Fort Walton Beach, Apalachicola. And he was very instrumental in the after Hurricane Michael devastation in terms of providing some hurricane relief. And again, serves on several boards, is currently a recovery specialist with the NWF Health Network. And he is his focus is his role is mental health and substance use. So with the mental health and substance use, he uses his lived experience with addiction to help develop other peers in the network. And one of his passions is to work with the network service providers to help help them identify peers for employment and also walk peers through the process of becoming certified recovery peer specialist, which is really awesome. He is, again, a pastor. He's married to his lovely wife, Felicia. He is the father of 3 and the proud grandfather of 1. So, y'all, help me welcome. I'm going to call him, I'm not going to call him Big Holy unless he tells me to. Help me welcome Mr. Lynn Masslieno. Yay!
Hello. Good afternoon. How's it going?
Going well. Thank you
Great.
for being here.
Great. Thank you for this opportunity to be able to be here on Mindset Monday and having this
Absolutely.
conversation with Nicole. Yeah.
Absolutely. So folks are welcoming you in. I see we got Miss Keosha with us here in
All right.
Tallahassee.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
have Miss Belinda Martin in
That's
Panama.
my mother, Belinda
Oh,
Martin.
wonderful. Thank you for being on here, Mama. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And my sister Shayla down in South Florida as well. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. So, Lynn.
Yes. And Big Holy is fine.
Big Holy is
Big
fine.
Holy
All
is
right,
fine. That
we're
works.
gonna get in that in just a minute.
Yeah.
Tell the people, who are you? I mean, the bio is extensive, but I
Yeah.
want your own words. Who is Lynn? Not what you do,
Right.
but who are you?
First of all, I'm a man that loves God and loves the calling that God has placed on my life, and love being able uh, to swim with the people, to be there, to be able to be a blessing to the people, to be able to make sure that people know that there's someone that loves them. You know what I mean? Not only that God loves them, but I love them as well, right? So at the end of the day, I want to be able to, to stand before the throne and to know that I did what God called me to do, that I performed my calling and everything that He poured inside of me, every gift that He gave me, every talent that He gave me, that I was able to extract that gift and talent out of who I was to be able to be a blessing to the people. And it doesn't matter who gets the credit, right, as long as God gets the glory. So at the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is that I want to make sure that God gets all the glory and that He gets the glory out of my life. Everything that I do, I realize and I understand that it's not me who's doing it. It's only by His grace and only by His mercy as well. So,
Indeed.
Yeah. So,
Indeed. All right.
that's who I am.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I gotta ask to tell me about Big Holy. Look, Keosha laughing. She said Big Holy. All right, tell us about this name, Big Holy.
All right. Well, so growing up, right, I was my name was Big Boy, right, on the street. I was one of those, came through the whole drug dealing thing, right? Came through the whole money making thing. I used to roll in a 1978 Money Green Cutlass Supreme with a white quarter vinyl top on it with hammers and bowls, and it had 12s in the back, right? And I used to come through beating, boom, 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 boom. That was me. I was that guy that came down.
I am crying over here. I would have never imagined that.
I was that guy. And I had a tattoo on my arm, you know what I mean? And I was Big Boy, right?
Okay.
But then on July the 4th, 1995, I was on a 3-day cocaine binge, right? I was on the verge of overdosing. I wasn't eating, I wasn't drinking. I was snorting cocaine for 3 days, on the verge of overdosing, and God changed my life. July the 4th, 1995 is when He brought deliverance into my life, and he changed my name from Big Boy to Big Holy.
Holy. Nice.
Right? Because it's a guy in the Bible named, his name used to be Abram, right? But then when he met God, God changed his name from Abram to Abraham. Don't get me to preaching in here.
Oh my goodness. Look. I think we're gonna have to pass the collection plate around here. I see that already. Oh my gosh. Well, I thank you for sharing that story. So let me back up. Yeah. So y'all, I met Lynn through the Terrence L. Barber. Okay.
Right.
Because of some work that Lynn is doing in the area. And so I was just very impressed with his enthusiasm and his love for the people and the work that he's doing. And so, we were trying to figure out a way to get him on before GentriCon 2023,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But I was like, well, even if we can't make it, you still need to come on here. So here we are.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yes.
And big shout out to Terrence as well. Terrence Barber. Right,
The
right.
connector, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Right.
yes. So let's talk about I mean, I know newness of life is our topic tonight, which of course is the name of your ministry, but I think, just based on what you just shared in terms of your
Yeah.
story, you experienced some newness of life, right?
Yeah. Sure did. Sure
Uh-huh.
did.
Uh-huh.
Sure did.
So you a witness.
Yes. Nicole, I ain't telling you about what I heard, what somebody told me about, right? I'm talking about what I know about, firsthand knowledge and firsthand experience, that God will change your life and that he will allow you to be able to walk in the newness of life, regardless of what you've gone through, regardless of the things that have happened to you. God will allow you to walk in the newness of life.
All right. So let's talk about your ministry. What prompted you to start it, and exactly what do you do within the ministry?
Okay. Well, actually, this is a ministry that God gave me probably between 13, 14, 15 years ago, right? And I was also, I began walking in it. We did a lot of street evangelism. We would be standing on the corner preaching the gospel, right? Just on just one of the main corners in Panama City. You can find us really on several different corners in Panama City, preaching the gospel, wanting to, let people know that, hey, listen, your life can change, right? And from then, we began doing things on this outreach called street rally for Jesus. That's where we had the music set up. We had the tents and everything set up. We gave away free clothes. We gave away free food. I was also a DJ back in the day as well. So not only am I Big Holy, but I'm also DJ Big Holy. So I also had the music set up there, right? The tent and everything. We did outreaches for Jesus. We did street rallies for Jesus. And that was, like I said, that's been 12, 13 years ago that we were actually moving in that. Sometimes that God will allow you to be involved with, with other ministries and with other things and help support other people in the vision that God had given them. So I was able to support my brother-in-law in the vision for Kingdom Agenda International Ministry. And then, to be able to help plant that ministry and grow it as well, right? But here within probably about the past year and a half, 2 years maybe, God started bringing back that, hey, listen, it's great. It's always great to be able to support somebody else. It's always great to be able to come alongside somebody else to make sure that their vision is established in the earth. But he said, don't forget, I called you to do some things as well. I gave you newness of life a long time ago, right? So as God continued to bring that back, the passion was still there, right? The fire was still there. And then I said, you know what? I'm going for it, because the gifts and the callings of God is without repentance. If God gives it to you, he expects for you to use it, right?
You know what, Lynn, you stepping on my toes. It really, it's not stepping on my toes. I see LaShawn Gordon on here. And so LaShawn knows that I have been wrestling with what I believe God has given me to do. But I'm so busy helping everybody else with their stuff and their visions. So,
well, it might be some confirmation happening right now.
Yeah, it is.
From someone that believes in helping somebody else and helping other people and making sure other people reach their destiny and walk in their calling and see their vision established and planted in the earth, to saying, you know what, I need to spend some time and do what God has called me to do, right?
Absolutely.
And newness of life, that's one of those things. It is. So whatever that is that you're wrestling with, just go ahead and let God win. You're gonna
Absolutely.
win anyway. Either you win now or you win later, right?
That's true. That is very true. Very true. Thank you for that word. So tell me about Newness of Life. What's the basis of the title?
All right. So newness of life, of course, it comes from the Bible, is biblically based, and it is Romans 6:4, right? Which says that therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also shall walk in newness of life. Again, Romans 6:4. So whatever your life looked like, before you were able to walk in your newness of life, you can again walk in a newness of life. The vision is to see people all over the world recover and transition out of unfavorable cycles into a newness of life. So even with the scriptural basis and also with the vision, we want to be able to see people come out of whatever that unfavorable situation or whatever that unfavorable cycle is, whether it's poverty, whether it's low self-esteem, of course sin, right? So whatever that unfavorable cycle is, whenever you get the opportunity to get involved with newness of life, we want to be able to focus on people being able to come out of that unfavorable cycle. So again, whatever that looks like. So so some of the things that we'll do, of course, we'll have outreaches, right? We'll give away food, we'll have clothes, that we'll give away as well. We'll have community meetings, we'll have community trainings. I'm certified in several different modalities to be able to offer courses to the people that are here in Panama City, and then we'll also be doing some things that are virtual as well, So at the end of the day, and of course we're gonna have our Sunday meetings that's gonna be called church.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, sure will.
Nice. Okay, so let me ask you, because I know in the Bible in the bio, I mentioned mental health.
Yeah.
What role does mental health play in what you're doing with Newness of Life?
Okay, well, so initially, of course, he gave it to me, and it was spiritual, right? And as I began to be involved with the role that I'm in now, and to learn more about what mental health is, and to learn more about the stigma that exists, and also with the experience in the faith community, and with my experience in the Black community as well, we'll also, address mental health. We'll also address, different ways that you can, receive treatment, for mental health as well. And, we talk a lot about stigma, and of course, I do also look forward to getting into that conversation, to talk about that as well, because it's important.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've been part of the faith community for over 20 years, and I've been Black all my life, right? So so when I started learning about and hearing about the stigma that exists in the Black and brown community, and also the stigma that exists in the faith community, I'm a living witness that is true. Mm-hmm. So not only will Newness of Life be involved with that, but also there's an initiative that I work on now, that I'll continue to work on, called Bridging the Gap.
Okay.
Right? And so that's just basically, in a nutshell, that's an initiative that will bridge the gap that exists between the faith community and behavioral health resources, right? And also that exists between the Black and brown community and behavioral health resources as well. Okay. And so we'll talk about stigma, right? What happens in this house, it stays in this house, mm-hmm. right? We'll talk about different barriers, okay, so why does this gap exist, in the Black and brown community, also in the faith community. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a healthy impactful side and piece of Newness of Life as well, because that'll also be, talk about how you can walk in newness of life, even though you have a diagnosis, right? Even though you have a bipolar diagnosis, or you may deal with depression, or you may deal with schizophrenia, right?
Right.
Whatever that modality looks like, that you can be able to live, laugh, and love. That's what that's what we want to be able to do, to be able to meet those needs that exist as well.
Okay, wonderful. Now I'm going to shift a little bit off of newness of life because of the
Okay.
things that you're mentioning. I'm imagining that some of that is covered in GentriCon. And so for those who may not be familiar with that, I want you to talk about what that event is, and how it got started, who it's for, and what it's been like over the past few years that you've started it.
Okay. Well, again, with our NWF Health Network, I'm the recovery specialist there. And one of my bosses, Ann Wing, she's no longer with the company, but she wanted to do a conference that dealt with generational trauma, right? So first of all, the name of the conference is GentriCon, right? GEN for generational, the TRA for trauma, and CON is, of course, conference. And the number at the end, the first time we did it was 2022, and we just had the 2023 edition just a couple weeks ago at the beginning of April. So what GentriCon is since it actually came out of the Hurricane Michael grant, because with Hurricane Michael, when the destruction came through Panama City with Hurricane Michael, a lot of people a lot of therapists, a lot of psychologists as well, they lost their businesses. They lost a lot of the tools and a lot of the tools that they had to perform their services. So what we wanted to do was to set a conference up to address the trauma that the people have gone through, that went through Hurricane Michael. But then also we wanted to pour into the therapists and to those that worked in the mental health field, to be able to pour into them so that they can build their businesses back up. They can build their therapies back up as well. So the first one that we did was GentriCon 22, and we did it at Mosley High School at the new auditorium that was built over there. We had some great speakers to come in. We had a couple international speakers to come in because we really wanted to pour into the therapists and those that were greatly affected by Hurricane Michael. That was back in 2022.
Right. Okay. And so how was the turnout?
At that one, we probably had about 175 people that were there.
Okay.
We targeted, of course, the therapists, that were in the area, but then we also broadened the net as well. That we wanted to include basically anybody that work with children, right? To be able to give them opportunities and to be able to give them tools and skills to be able to work with children that have experienced generational trauma in their lives as well. So there was football coaches that were there, right? Bus drivers, teachers, concerned citizens from the city. So that it was great. And then they started talking about, I can't wait until next year. Okay. Well, GentriCon 23 happened. So this year we were at FSU PC campus, right? Okay. So we had over 250 people that were there. Also, as a matter of fact, Mr. Terrence Barber, he was there. Him and Central Credit Union was one of the sponsors that was there as well. Beautiful campus. We had great speakers again. Just rave reviews about how everything went. And this is a testimony, right? So one of the team members that came from GentriCon 22, right? So she went to GentriCon 22, and she was so impressed with what happened at GentriCon 22 that she wanted to become part of the planning team for GentriCon 23 because it touched her so much to the point that she wanted to be part of the planning team because, you know, she just thought everything was great. And she actually said that I've been to conferences, you know, overseas. I've been to conferences here in the States. And this GentriCon conference in Panama City, Florida, was one of the best conferences that she has ever attended and been a part of. So she was also on the planning team for GentriCon 23.
Okay.
So you know, that's just some of just a small testimony about how GentriCon impacts the people, not only the people that come to the conference, but are part of the conference and planning it and being part of that experience as well.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned before we talked about GentriCon about stigma.
Yeah.
Why do you think stigma is so prevalent within Black and brown communities as it relates to mental health and wellness?
Okay, well, when we talk about stigma, the definition that I like to use is a mark of disgrace that's associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or a person, right? And again, you know, to go back to bridging the gap, when we talk about stigma, especially, well, I'll start with the Black and brown community. Nobody, none of the family members, no family wants to be known as that's the family with the crazy auntie, right? That's the family that has the crazy uncle, the crazy mom, the crazy dad, right? Nobody wants to be known as that family,
right?
So the stigma of mental health causes the community to not go out and to not seek treatment, right? Because again, what happens in this house?
It stays in this house.
Stays in this house. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to you when someone that's dealing with a mental health issue, and then they go seek treatment, they go seek help, and then somebody finds out about it, right? Somebody finds out that, oh, you got someone that's dealing with mental health, and now you going to a psychologist and you going into a psychiatrist, and then you taking medications, right? Here comes the whole stigma, because traditionally, when we talk about mental health and talk about therapy, that's not what we do as a people. That's more so for our Caucasian brothers and sisters to go to therapy and to receive and to take medication and you know, so that they can live life and love. That's not something traditionally that we did, right? So that stigma a lot of times keeps us in a position that, hey, that's not for me, right? I don't want to be, you know, again, known as a person that's that crazy word, right?
Right.
Elevator don't go all the way up to the top. You know, you one crayon away from a full body. You know, all these things that we, all these words that we apply and these labels that we apply on people that that deal with the mental illness, right? And it keeps them from going and seeking help and going to therapy because they don't want to be known as the person that's crazy. So that's just one of the areas as far as talking about stigma in the Black and brown community. Now, if we got just a minute, I would like to move on and talk a little bit about the faith community and stigma as well.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that same stigma, so it exists in the faith community, because if you're in the faith community and you have to go talk to someone about something that's going on in your mind or in your head, right? Then again, someone finds out about it. Well, I guess your God ain't as strong as you say your God is, because if your God was that powerful, why you got to go talk to somebody about mental health, about depression or something like that? Why you can just you need to pray more. You need to read your Bible more. You need to go to church and shout and dance more. Listen, I am all for letting God move and letting God have his way. I know that God can deliver you. I know that God can heal you because God has delivered me. God has healed me. And also God has restored me as well. So not only do I know him as a healer, not only do I know him as a deliverer, I know him as a restorer as well. So listen, I'm all for God having his way in your life, right? But at the same time, if you got something that's going on, you need to go down there and get some help. That's what I'm going to say. If you got something going on, go down there and get you some help. If you got to go, if you got heart trouble, right? You go down there to the doctor and get you some heart medicine.
Mm-hmm.
If you got sugar, if you got diabetes, you go down there and get you some help for your diabetes, right?
Right.
If you got glaucoma or something going on, you go get you some glasses or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why does the stigma exist when you have a disease in the brain that you can also get help with, that you can also get your medications with, you can go to therapy, you can talk to somebody. It's called, I like to refer to it as the no casserole disease.
The what?
The no casserole disease.
What's that?
If you go to the hospital and you in the hospital for a couple of days, right? Somebody might bring you a casserole, old green bean casserole or old chicken casserole or something. You done went through surgery and everything. People want to bring you some flowers and make sure, all of that stuff, right?
Right.
But if you tell them that you got something going on in your mind, there ain't nobody gonna bring you no casseroles, right? And a lot of times people ain't even gonna talk about, not to you, not to try to be there to support you and to help you through what's going on. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna say, "Hey, such and such over there, he talking about he depressed, talking about he got schizophrenic, he bipolar, right?" So it's one of them things that people really don't want to have that conversation about because they really may not know how to, especially in the faith community. So also, if you're a pastor, and don't be a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be a leader and you have something going on and you have some mental issues that's going on, because how can you lead somebody and you can't keep your own self together? Right?
You can't keep your own mind right.
You can't keep your own mind right. The no casserole disease. So that's just part of the stigma that does exist, right, in the Black and brown communities, also in the faith communities when we talk about mental health, because again, what happens in this house stays in this house, right? You need to be able to pray it away. You need to be able to fast it away. And again, I'm 100% for all of those things. But also, if you need to go down there and get you some help, go down there and get you some help.
All right. I call it getting the checkup from the neck up.
Okay.
Yes.
I like
that. All right. So I'm going to take a pause quickly just to let folks know who are just joining us and who may be new to the platform. This is Mindset Monday. I'm Nicole Everett, Conversations with Nicole, and I have evangelist Masslieno on with me, also known as Big Holy. And we've been talking about newness of life, but also just some of the great and wonderful things that he has been doing in the Panama City, Bay County area, Fort Walton Beach, and that whole panhandle. Actually, he's stretching his services from Pensacola to Jacksonville, I believe, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But just wanted to do a quick station ID for those who may be just joining us. I see you, Roz. Thank you for being here. I see you, Beverly. Thank you for being here. And Miss Jeanette down in Miami Gardens. Thank you for being here. All right. Kiosha had a comment. She said, there is a lack of understanding on how to help those with mental health issues. What can be done to help us help those struggling with mental illness other than saying, go down there to get you some help?
Right.
Good question.
Right. Thank you for that question also, Kiosha. one of the things that we can do is that to have a mindset shift on this Mindset Monday, right? In the way that we look at what mental health is, and you know, the way that we look at what mental health issues are, to educate ourselves, right? Because I can also say that for the last couple of years, I've been employed with NWF Network, and previously, before I was employed with NWF Network, that I really didn't have a understanding about what, you know, mental health was, and you know what, you know, substance use was, and substance use disease. You know, I didn't have an understanding of what that was. And the more education that I did, you know, well, that I'm continuing to receive, and, you know, having a mindset that says, well, okay, I'm learning about different mental health issues and mental health problems. And then also, you know, there's, again, you know, I've mentioned that there's different therapies that are available. One of the things that we do with NWF Network is that we're the managing entity. And what the managing entity is that we receive federal and state grants. And then we contract with local providers, and the local providers are the ones that provide services to the underinsured and to the uninsured, right, in mental health and also substance use problems. So to continue to to educate yourself about the different mental health problems, mental health issues, and then also to be open to talk to someone and say, hey, listen, if you need to go have an appointment, go make an appointment. I'll be there beside you. I'll be there supporting you. I'm not going to judge you, right? But I'm going to be there to be able to support you so that you can live, laugh, and love, right?
Indeed.
Yes. So that's a great question, and that's one of the things that I am striving to do now, is continue to educate myself and to be open, to talking to people and say, you know, like I just said a few minutes ago, if you do need some help,
right?
There's nothing wrong with going and seeking some help, because see, at the end of the day, that's your life that you're living, and you're not living that, and you're not living your life for somebody else. So really, what does it matter what they think about you?
Right. So I will, what I heard you say just now was to educate yourself, to in educating yourself not only on maybe mental illness in terms of what the conditions are, but also educate yourself in terms of the resources that are available in your particular community, and then supporting that person, that loved one who is having the mental health challenge, and supporting them judgment free.
Yes.
You know, being there to maybe go with them on their appointment, or encouraging them to go to the appointment and following up. So I believe those are some ways that we can assist those who are struggling with mental illness.
Right. Yes. And also, I would like to add as well. I mentioned being able to become a certified recovery peer specialist.
Okay.
Right? So what a peer specialist is someone that has lived experience in mental health and or substance use, right? And that you can use that lived experience to be able to become certified, to become a peer, and you can come alongside other people that are going through some of the same things that you went through, as far as substance use or mental health. So if that's something that you would like to know more about, is how can you become certified? How can you become a peer, and that you can, either change careers or, become certified and become employed in that area, or learn more about how to support other people. I think that Nicole will put my contact information up later, and I would love to be able to talk with you more about becoming a certified recovery peer specialist, because as she read in the bio, that's one of the passions that I do have, that I can walk in my job, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this, since we're talking about your lived experience and
Mhm.
being a recovery specialist,
Yeah.
how do you um, how do you help someone who you are maybe acting as a peer that just feels hopeless, like they can't um their past is weighing them down, the things that they did that they messed up so bad, and they just have a lot of guilt and maybe shame, or they're just heavy burden. What do you do to share with them that there is hope?
Okay. And that's one of the biggest things that a peer does, is to be able to give hope to the people that they're working with, right? And they can use that lived experience. That's one of the most valuable tools that a peer has, is their lived experience, is the story that they have, because you can come alongside that peer or come alongside that person, and you can tell them that, hey, listen, I'm not telling you about something that I heard about. I'm not telling you about something that I read about, but I'm talking to you about something that happened to me. I have this experience. I have this lived experience. And I know it feels like that you're hopeless right now. I know it feels like that you've burnt all kind of bridges. You've destroyed all kind of relationships. You've made some bad decisions, and you're in a bad place, and you feel like your addiction has you to the point to where you can't move, and because of your addiction, that is no hope, is no way out. But a peer can come alongside that person and can let them know that, and say, hey, listen, I've been there. I know what it feels like. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're going through. But now this is where I am. This is where I was. I've gone through every emotion that you're going through, every thought that you're having. I've had those thoughts, but now I'm on the other side of recovery. I have my sobriety. I have my recovery. And what I also want to let you know is that if I can do it, then you can do it as well. And you don't have to go through it by yourself, because I'm going to be right there with you, right there beside you, walking you through the entire process. Right. So again, that's one of the most valuable things that a peer can do.
Yeah, I think, Lynn, probably like you're saying, the most valuable thing is that support, right? Not um feeling or thinking that you're alone, and not being alone, having that person there um to talk to be there, again, judgment free,
Mm-hmm.
and just really caring about the person and wanting them to be their best selves, and be well, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I know you talked about your experience in terms of July 4th, and
Mm-hmm.
God gave you this chance to turn things around.
Right.
And I'm sure even after that encounter, it still wasn't easy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There were some
Yeah.
challenges along the way, like the next day, because it's
Right.
not like you over it, like, and maybe you might have been, I don't know. Talk
Mm-hmm.
to us a little bit about that
Mm-hmm.
experience for you.
Okay. There's a class now that I teach called HOH,
Mhm.
right? And that stands for Helping Others Heal. And it is a 40-hour class, because to be able to sit for the to become certified, to be able to sit to take the test, you have to meet the 40-hour training requirement.
Mhm.
And in that class, there's a chapter that's called Roads to Recovery. That
Mhm.
whatever, it talks about the different roads to recovery. You have NA, you have AA, you have Celebrate Recovery, you have spiritual recovery. So we see all different types of recovery. My recovery was spiritual, right?
Mhm.
My recovery, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, is that when God came in, he brought deliverance, and he has kept me free, delivered from that day to this one, right? And I think that he knew he had to do that because he he had to make sure that he came in and he did the work, you know what I mean, for me, because he know the type of personality that I have is all or nothing.
I think that would be so. There would be no doubt about it, right?
Right. That he know he had to come in and do a work for me, right? But if someone goes down the Celebrate Recovery road or the Narcotics Anonymous or the AA road, then whatever works for them, then that's what works for them.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, so now that's one of the shifts that I had, prior to coming to work with NWF Health Network, is that because I knew that my deliverance or my sobriety and my recovery was strictly spiritual, right? But then I began to learn about, different roads to recovery and how people maintain their sobriety and the way that they maintain it. And at the end of the day, I mean, that's what you want. You want to be able to walk in your sobriety, right?
Right.
So whatever that looks like. And if it works for you, we say that if you like it, then I love it.
So did you have a peer to support you?
Going through at that time, it was my church family.
Okay.
Right. It was well, early on, it was my immediate family. Right. And then once I got involved with the church, it was the church family, right? So they were able to walk through all of those things with me, early on, and you just flashed Lynetta all right on there, man. She is awesome. Thank you, Lynetta. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yes. So with again, so early on, immediate family, and then that extended out to the, to my church family. And I began using my story, over 20 years ago. I began using my story to be able to help others and walk them through the process, as to be able to be there to support them as well. But I was doing it for free. And then I figured out, you mean to tell me that I can use my lived experience and lose my story and get paid to do it now? Oh, that's a win-win, Nicole.
Right, for sure. But I'm gonna take you back because I know you said it was your family, your church family. Were they equipped to help you at the time?
They were.
Okay. So they educated themselves, or I mean, or they just loved on you?
That's because at the end of the day, people just want to be loved. Right. Gotcha. They were there to encourage me. Hey, listen, because see, my immediate family, this was before I got saved and in the church and everything. So my church family didn't know me, but my immediate family, they know how crazy I was. They know they saw this crackhead, going from the guy with the 78 Cutlass Supreme banging down the block with, what I'm talking about, to crawling around my house.
Keosha put it up here because I just was too tickled by it. Hold on, I got to go back. She said a money green Cutlass Supreme.
Cutlass Supreme.
Do you have any pictures, Lynn? Because I really would love to see that. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
It was clean. It was clean.
I bet.
But went from that to crawling around my house, looking in between the carpet fibers, looking for something that I dropped that I know wasn't down there. So they saw it.
Wow.
They saw it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So Beverly is on. Thank you for being here. She said, as a peer counselor, how do you help others understand how to make amends or confront experiences that led to addiction, mental health issues? Oh, good question.
Okay, great. Beverly, thank you for that question. As a peer counselor or a peer specialist, you have to be able to work with people, right? You got to be able to build that relationship. You got to be able to build that rapport with people so that they're open and so that they can receive the input that you're giving to them. All right, how do you help others understand how to make amends? once you have that time, once you have that recovery, and you've gone through, and you know that you're sober, you know that you have your recovery, and now you come to the point where you want to go back and you want to begin to talk to people to be able to make those amends, right? You have to go in with the mindset, first of all, that I was the one I messed up. I blew it, right? I tore it up. So you'll find that some people are open to have that conversation with you, to forgive you and to have that relationship restored, right? And you thank them for their grace, and you thank them for their mercy, right? But then some, they don't care how long that you've been in recovery and how well you're doing right now. They still remember how you did them, and the things that happened while you were not well,
right?
And you have to be able to go along with that. You have to be able to say, okay, listen, I understand that, and not hold it against them because they don't want to forgive you, right? You have to come to a point to where you say, hey, listen, I messed my life up. I messed it up. I know I did it. But now I'm trying to do things better. I made some changes. I'm making better decisions on a consistent basis. One good decision after another, after another, right? And right, exactly. To forgive yourself, right? Even while reflecting on your past experiences, right?
Indeed. Indeed. Oh, good point. All right, Janetta, and thank you, Janetta. She's a clinician here in Tallahassee. She said it's helpful to acknowledge their experiences, validate their feelings, and normalize making mistakes and not so good decisions as a part of life. Also provide encouragement and identify their strengths and the good decisions they've made to still be here in the present moment.
That's a great point, Janetta. That's a great point. Another one of the skills that I've been able to be trained in is called recovery capital, right? And recovery capital is basically what a person has that's available to them.
Okay.
Right. Recovery capital includes family. It includes material things, as far as money, houses, cars, also community capital. How connected to you are you? How connected to the community are you? Right. Social capital, different. What kind of relationships do you have in the community? What kind of social relationships, whether it be romantic relationships or business relationships or platonic relationships. And a lot of times when people have come through their addictions and they've made these decisions and they burn so many bridges, they don't really recognize and they don't really realize that they still do have recovery capital, right? They still do have things that are at their disposal to help them in their recovery, to help them continue to move in their recovery and continue to stay sober. And they don't recognize that. They don't, it's hard for them to be able to see that because of the bad decisions that they made. They may not be riding in a 2023 Ghost Phantom Rolls Royce, right? But they do got a 1978 Cutlass Supreme with a half white vinyl top on it, right? And if they don't have that, they may still have a bicycle that they can get around on, right? To help them identify what they do have, right? And as Janetta also mentioned, to accentuate the positives that you didn't use today,
right?
You didn't backslide today. Still, you still have that recovery capital, and again, and being a peer, that's one of the biggest things that you can also do is help them to realize that they do have recovery capital, and you can also help walk them through creating a recovery plan. Right? we can set some goals, right? We can set
Like,
some 5-year goals. We can set some 3-year goals. We can set a goal of that you can meet by the end of the week.
mm-hmm.
And
So
then
short term, mid-term, and long-term goals.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever you do begin, and then whenever you work with that, with that person and they're reaching them goals, hey, we're celebrating the win.
Right.
We're celebrating the win. I mean, no matter how small that win is, we're gonna celebrate it, right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's good. All right. So Kiosha got a sidebar question.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the money green Cutlass Supreme?
I wrecked it.
No.
I wrecked it. And what's ironic about that is because as a result of that wreck, right, I realized that all the friends that I thought I had, they wasn't really my friends, right? As a result of that wreck, I hurt my back and I hurt my neck as well, right?
Oh, wow.
So now I'm laid up in the house. I can't move. I can't get out. I can't. And all them friends that was getting high with me, they wasn't coming around the house, right? But let me tell you this. I used to have an afro. It was bigger than yours, Nicole. Don't.
I need the pictures, sir. I need the pictures.
I used to have an afro, right? And this was during the time that my mom had already gotten saved. She was already a part of the church, right? But I wasn't. And she was talking to me. She was asking me, to read, to kind of go to church with her. I wasn't doing all that. But she would braid my hair. Yeah. Right. And this was the story after my change came. She said that she would be braiding my hair and she'd be praying at the same time. Lord, this boy crazy. Lord, this boy, he gonna kill himself out here in these streets. You need to come in. You need to have your way in his life. That he gonna do what you called him to do. And she'll be braiding my hair and she'll be praying the whole time. And another one of the testimonies that I have quickly is that my mama, I also credit her, is that she prayed me into the kingdom.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That is powerful. She said, yes, I did.
Right. There she is. She's on there. I got a witness. That's my mama.
Indeed. Thank God for a praying mama.
Yes.
Wonderful. Wow. So this has been good. This conversation around recovery capital and the recovery plan and helping others to heal and what can be done to help people that may be struggling with mental illness, all really just great points. So
yes.
I really want to thank you for that. So I want to give, and Mama said, yes, Lord, thanks be to God. I want to give you an opportunity to give us any closing remarks and also tell us what you have coming up and how folks can connect with you.
Okay. All right. First of all, I also want to honor God for this opportunity. And thank you again, also, Nicole, for this opportunity to come here and spend this time with you. And I noticed that some of the board members of Newness of Life are also on the call as well. So nice. Newness of Life board members, thank you all for coming in and
shout out. Let's pause. Look, if you're on the board of Newness of Life, give us some thumbs up or church finger or something in the comments. Let us know you here. Let us know. So we're gonna give you a shout out.
It's some
all right, go ahead.
It's some powerful people that has come alongside me to support me as well, and they are some very powerful people that mean a lot to me in my life as well. And I also want to honor my family. During the bio, mention my wife and my children, and but yeah. My contact information, probably the best way to get in contact with me is at bigholy@gmail.com. You got my number there as well. There's also other classes that I could be able, to come alongside and teach as well. Rap courses, HOH courses, youth mental health first aid. then and also if there's anything that I can help support in as well, feel free to get in contact with me. Thank you.
Indeed. All right. So Lynetta's giving us a thumbs up. Thank you for being here. And Mama Belinda is
Yeah,
also giving us a thumbs up. And Miss
yeah.
Alicia
And the wise brothers and
Andrews
sisters.
Watts, the Watts is here. Wonderful. Thank you for
Mhm.
being here. We appreciate it. All right. And so didn't you tell me you had something coming up on July 4th?
On July the 4th, you remember that July the 4th was that day that my change came.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we will do a soft launch of Newness of Life on July the 4th. We're going to throw a community-wide barbecue. We've always done outreaches. We've always been outwardly focused to the community. We've always been concerned about how can we make the community better? How can we make the people better? So on July the 4th, we have a free barbecue. The barbecue will start at 2 o'clock. Come down, grab a plate of barbecue with us. I'll also have a time where I'll talk about newness of life, talk about the vision, talk about the mission, talk about some of the other things that we'll have going on that'll be a part of newness. And of course, then some of the board members will be there as well. So I get a chance to, to recognize them publicly. And yes, so just come hang out with us. 1104 Northeast Avenue, Panama City, Florida, right? July the 4th, and I will send a flyer to you.
Please
Nicole,
do so we can
and you
share
can
it.
get that out. Right, sure will.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you all have enjoyed this conversation, let us know. I see some thumbs up coming up, but just let us know, comments, hearts, or I don't know, smiley face, something. Just let us know in the comments if you have enjoyed this. I see it's
I
just
see my wife on there. Yeah, that's my
yes,
wife,
thank you
Felicia.
for
That's her.
being
Yeah.
here. We appreciate it. We appreciate you lending him to us for an hour or so this evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Well, I know that you are doing, great and wonderful things. When we talked about when I met you, you were working on a fatherhood initiative.
Mhm.
And so, we'll get more of that later. I don't want to cover that tonight, but we'll definitely get more of that later as those plans develop. All right. So Johnny Johnson, Johnny, thank you for being here. Johnny is my question asker boy. Johnny gonna have a question. He said, what keeps the peer from relapsing?
That's something that you got to work on between you and yourself, right? You have to understand where you were, where you come from, the choices that you've made to be able to create the life that you have now, right? Not to be able to relapse, but then also you think about what would it look like to those that you've already helped? How would it affect them when you've had the opportunity to talk with them and to walk with them, and so that they can maintain recovery and maintain sobriety? How would that affect them as well? All right. So again, that's one of those things that where you gotta have that settled within yourself.
Indeed. Indeed. Thank you for responding to that as well. All
Yes.
right. Well, I appreciate you. I see other folks are giving us comments. Great energy and information. What a great show. Way to go, Lynn. Great conversation from my mom and my Miss Felicia in Jacksonville. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I really appreciate you being on here and sharing again all of the things that you have going on and your story. I think there is definitely power in you sharing your story and the work that you do with the managing entity, as we call it. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and definitely get us the flyer so we can share that with the viewers, and those who are in the PC area can come by and get them a plate and meet you and fellowship with you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much, Nicole.
All right. So we got a few more people that are chiming in. Let's see. Oh, So Miss Gwen, Sunshine Gwen, I'm telling you, she's tagging all the people. She is here in Tallahassee, but she gets folks on here, okay?
She does. Okay.
So Mom said, thanks, Nicole, for Mindset Monday. You are an awesome host. Thanks for allowing my son to speak on tonight. My pleasure. My pleasure. My pleasure. We are on every Monday and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. and the focus is on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities. So for those of you who are new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. Again, subscribing is supporting. That's something that I always say. And we need all the support we can get. We are we all we got. And so we need to support one another. So again, I appreciate you, Lynn, for being on here and again sharing what you're doing. And y'all reach out to him. You know, he definitely has some great things going on and more to come. More to come. Connect with them, reach out to him, and see how you all can maybe collaborate and do something together, just like we did, right? Just like we did. All right. Well, we are not going to hold y'all any longer, but again, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, viewers. We appreciate you. And let's keep this conversation going. Share this with somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody can benefit from this. All right. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Peace.